We've got a number of voicemails to get to. Let's head to the voicemail of Truth and Reason. This caller has an idea of how he thinks the Browns' offseason should unfold. Let's listen.
Hi, my name is Phil. I'm calling about the Browns offseason with some ideas to help the offense. I want to hear your thoughts. First, the Browns, unfortunately have to cut loose Jarvis. His production, his injury, and age are a factor, and his $15 million contract is just not tenable at this time. Then, in free agency, I'd like to see the Browns go after Christian Kirk, a veteran stud receiver, with some of that Jarvis money. Draft Treylon Burks, or if you have to get Garrett Wilson as option number 2, that gives us Burks or Garrett on the outside, along with DPJ, and then Kirk in the slot. Sounds like a dangerous wide receiver group, in my opinion. Then there are some good-looking right tackles on day 2 of the draft, such as OSU's Petit Fier, meaning you're going to have to cut Jack Conklin as he's just breaking down health-wise and for cap reasons. And with that cap money, we can address David Njoku and get him an extension. Then get back a healthy Baker Mayfield. Appreciate the time, and thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, a lot to unpack there. What I would say about, it's pretty well thought out. I would say if Jarvis Landry is willing to renegotiate at a lower dollar figure, you have that conversation. I don't know that he's going to want to do that. Quite honestly, I don't know that he really still wants to be here. We'll find out. That's something that will unfold. You can't pay Jarvis Landry $15 million, and I like the idea of using that money to go get a number 1. Not sure Conklin is breaking down. I mean, we'll see. And I like the idea of signing Njoku, and Mac, you and I have talked about this. He's a matchup problem. Use him.
Yeah, no, and you're completely spot on when it comes to Njoku. And, the idea of Landry, I'm right there with you. You have that conversation with him. If he's willing to take a little bit less money this year, then, look, I'm all for it. I'd love to have Jarvis Landry back. But at the same time, I just don't see that happening for Jarvis Landry at this point in his career. So, I think that for him, I think that he's probably going to end up being let go. Excuse me. But, looking at a Christian Kirk and unpacking it a little bit, I like Christian Kirk. The only thing is that I feel like, again, it's similar to kind of Jarvis, where I think that he can be a number 2 on a team. This past year, it was the most receiving yards that he's had in a season with 982. Previously, it was only around 700 at that point. So, I'm curious as to how much of a workload he can handle at that point. But at the same time, too, I also look at free agency as adding those supplementary pieces. I don't think that you're going to get your number 1 in free agency. I think you're going to be looking at the draft for that. And that's where I look at somebody like a Russell Gage that I would rather bring in from Atlanta. He played well towards the end of the season. But, again, I look at what they need to do. I'm right there with him when it comes to Treylon Burks. Again, like I said, I'm a big Treylon Burks guy. I'd love to have him here in Cleveland. But, I look at what he also mentioned on day 2. Regarding the offensive tackle situation, I'm concerned when it comes to Jack Conklin because of the injury history that he's had. So, I would be willing to bring somebody in. However, I do worry at the development process when it comes to some of these tackles and how ready they're going to be day 1 to replace somebody at a Conklin's level. So that's where I have some concerns regarding that. But at the same time, too, Dave, you know my thoughts on David Njoku. I'd love to have him back. He's somebody who I think it has been the best tight end that they've had over the last 2 seasons, at least. And so he's somebody who I would love to see them bring back. And to be honest, I'd also love to see them add maybe another tight end, towards the end of the draft or even in free agency as well.
Yeah, you're going to laugh at this. I think they kind of underutilized him. I think, again, he's a guy that if you get the right matchups, you can exploit. He's got to hang on to the ball a little bit more.